I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Well, I think, yeah, well, people go, oh, are not people that help friends that diet. You must tell a friend the truth. You must say you are still a pig, lose more weight. That's a friend. Not
I
me,
agree, I agree.
Now.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost.
Y'all, let me spill some piping hot tea about Oprah Winfrey. You know, that name that used to mean everything in Hollywood? Well, honey, let me tell you how the mighty have fallen. Behind all that glitz and glamour of her entertainment empire, there's a darker side that's finally coming to light. From her shady connections with notorious figures like Epstein and Weinstein to some absolutely shocking accusations from beloved black actresses, it looks like Oprah's magical touch in Hollywood might be losing its sparkle.
I'm unapologetic and I'm unwavering about it. Because when I see this woman, Oprah Winfrey, how do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie?
And get this, can you believe that powerhouse actresses like Taraji P. Henson and Queen Latifah are now standing up against her? Like, what do they know that we don't? Because, girl, this tea is scalding.
And it's no secret, we are facing some seriously pivotal issues. Everyone's talking about inflation. You know what's not feeling inflation?
Equal pay for black actresses.
Listen up, because this is where it gets juicy. Oprah was once considered the ultimate ally for actors of color. But now, these black actresses are coming forward with claims that her support came with strings attached. And not the pretty kind, if you know what I mean.
Been unfair. You've been unjust. And you watched a black woman be thrown under the bus, and you said nothing.
Now, let me take you back to one of the most heartbreaking moments in Oprah's career that'll make your jaw drop. Picture this. Oprah sitting there with Joan Rivers, actually laughing while they shame the incredible Nell Carter on live television. I know, right? And trust me, once you know what Nell was going through, this story becomes so much more devastating.
I saw Nell Carter on here last night who'd lost. Yes, but you couldn't tell. She's still very chubby. She should lose more. Don't you think? Don't you think she should lose more? Well, I think...
Like, can we talk about how utterly cruel this was? Here's Oprah, who should have known better than anyone what it feels like to be body shamed, just sitting there giggling while Joan Rivers called Nell Carter. Are you ready for this? A pig! I mean, seriously?
Are not people that help friends that diet. You must tell a friend the truth. You must say you are still a pig, lose more weight. That's a friend!
And honey, this wasn't just mean. It was downright cruel, especially when you consider everything Nell Carter had been through. Let me paint you a picture of this absolute queen. Born in Alabama in '48, growing up in poverty in a segregated neighborhood, but baby, that voice of hers, it was pure magic from the start. Y'all, this woman fought her way up from nothing. By her early 20s, she packed her bags and headed to the bright lights of New York City, chasing those Broadway dreams. And chase them she did. By 1971, she was making waves in the theater world like nobody's business. When she starred in Ain't Misbehavin', honey, she snatched both a Tony and an Emmy. But here's where it gets heavy, loves. While Nell was out there breaking barriers and serving pure talent, she was fighting demons that would break most people. The 1980s should have been her golden era. She was starring in Gimme a Break, coming into millions of homes every week. But behind that bright smile, she was battling substance abuse and mental health struggles that would break your heart.
It was my dream because I was going to be Diana Ross.
Get this, things got so dark that she actually tried to end it all at one point. Can you imagine? Here's this incredible talent, fighting addiction, facing body shaming, dealing with racial discrimination, and Hollywood just kept taking, without giving her the support she desperately needed. Now, what makes this whole thing even more twisted? Oprah knew. She knew exactly what it felt like to be judged for your weight, to have every pound gain or loss become headline news. She's talked about her own struggles for years, about how much shame she carried about her body. So when she sat there, cackling with Joan Rivers while they tore Nell Carter apart, girl, it hits different. Oprah could have been the one to say enough. She could have changed the conversation. Instead, she joined right in with Hollywood's Mean Girls Club.
6'12". Nell is about 5'2". She's a small lady.
Yeah, shorter. Say shorter.
Shorter. What's the difference between shorter and smaller?
About this much.
And don't even get me started on the irony of how Oprah's public image has done a complete 180 since then. Now she's all about self-acceptance and wellness, promoting weight loss drugs like they're candy, the same solutions she used to side-eye as taking the easy way out. She's out here preaching body positivity while her past actions tell a whole different story. Let me tell you about what happened to Nell after all this. It's heartbreaking, loves. Her battle with diabetes got worse and worse. She went through multiple miscarriages before finally adopting 2 beautiful children. She even collapsed during a Broadway performance. But did that stop her? No, ma'am. She kept pushing forward even as her health was failing. But in 2003, just days before she was supposed to perform in A Raisin in the Sun, Nell passed away from diabetes complications. She was only 54 years old. Makes you think about all those laughs at her expense, doesn't it? Now, grab your popcorn because we're about to dive into the really messy stuff. How Oprah allegedly exploited black actresses. Y'all thought the pay gap in Hollywood was just about men versus women. Think again. These conversations have been happening for decades, but now it's a black woman, one of their own, who's being called out for keeping other sisters down. And honey, Queen Latifah and Taraji P. Henson are not holding back anymore. They took this fight straight to Hollywood's doorstep, and when I tell you it set off fireworks, that's an understatement. Everyone from fans to fellow celebrities is rallying behind these women, and it's opening up a whole can of worms about Oprah's alleged behind-the-scenes behavior.
It's a scary thing to speak your truth, but I urge you all to speak your truth, because at the end of the day, that's all we have. And like they say, the truth.
Now, let me spill this tea properly. When you've been grinding in Hollywood for decades like Taraji and Queen Latifah, people listen when you speak. And baby, did they speak? But they were smart about it. They didn't come out guns blazing. No, they played it subtle and sophisticated. At this year's NAACP Awards, these queens tag-teamed their message. Queen Latifah started talking about inflation and everyday struggles, setting the stage perfectly for Taraji to drop the bomb about black actresses being underpaid in Hollywood. And when Taraji won that award for her role as Shug Avery in The Color Purple, Chili, she had some things to say.
And it's no secret, we are facing some seriously pivotal issues. Everyone's talking about inflation. You know what's not feeling inflation?
Equal pay for black actresses.
Get this. Queen Latifah straight up thanked Taraji for standing up for all of us. And when Taraji got up there to accept her award, she made sure to thank everyone who had her back during that press tour drama. You know, the one for the movie Oprah produced, the shade of it all. And honey, Taraji wasn't playing games. She laid it all out. I've been getting paid and I've been fighting tooth and nail every project to get that same freaking quote. And it's a slap in the face when people go, "Oh girl, you work all the time, you always working." Well, god damn it, I have to. It's not because I wish I could do 2 movies a year and that's that. I have to work because the math ain't mathing and I have bills.
And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am.
Chili, you could tell something went down on that set. And the fans? They picked up on every single detail. When those TikTok videos from the press conference started circulating, showing the tension between Taraji and Oprah, baby, it was like watching a soap opera in real life.
Let's look at Oprah. You see how she looked at Taraji and quickly looks away. And now look at Taraji. Look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eye, trying to hold back tears.
These TikTokers were breaking down every little move. How Oprah was the only one Taraji wouldn't touch. How Oprah kept trying to escape, hiding behind Danielle Brooks. The body language spoke volumes. But wait, it gets better. In her New York Times interview, Taraji spilled all the tea about what went down behind the scenes. They expected these stars to drive themselves around Atlanta in rental cars. Can you believe? Taraji wasn't having it. I can't drive myself to set in Atlanta. This is insurance liability. It's dangerous. Now they robbing people. What do I look like taking myself to work by myself in a rental car? And don't even get me started on what Danielle Brooks revealed during that Q&A. These acclaimed actresses didn't even have their own dressing rooms during rehearsals. No food provided either. But thank goodness for Taraji speaking up for everyone.
Women are paid less, period. It's nothing different than what happens in the world. Women tend to be paid less than their male counterparts.
Now, Queen Latifah's been fighting this fight since way back in 2017. In her Essence interview, she broke it down. It's not just about getting paid less than male actors. It's about black women getting the short end of the stick across the board.
Just take what we're offered. You know, we always push it further, and we realize what our worth is, but also realize that we can create this content.
But here's what's really got people talking. While every black actress in Hollywood was struggling with these issues, where was Oprah? Not only did she stay quiet, but some are saying she was part of the problem. And Taraji wasn't the only one from The Color Purple with stories to tell. Fantasia Barrino came out with her own shocking revelation. Despite working constantly, she couldn't even afford to order a pizza. I would get home and couldn't even order a pizza, but I was never home. How is that? I ain't got no money, but I'm always working. But if you want to hear some real tea, let me tell you about Monique's situation. This woman has been calling out Oprah for years, claiming she helped blacklist her in Hollywood. The betrayal, it runs deep, honey.
Can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. I would never stoop to try to meet somebody where they are.
When Monique tried to address her concerns, Oprah dismissed them as negativity. But Monique wasn't backing down. She came back with, Oprah, there's a difference between negativity for the sake of being negative, and there's a difference between the truth, which may be negative. If you notice, what you're not saying is, I've lied about anything, and that is very telling, don't you think? And the drama with Monique's family appearance on Oprah's show, Chile, that's a whole other level of mess. Oprah called Monique about having her brother on the show to apologize for abusing her, but conveniently forgot to mention that Monique's parents and other family members would be there too. The same family members who knew about her fear of that brother. But here's where it gets really dark, loves. Let's talk about Oprah's connections to some of Hollywood's most notorious figures. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the rumors about Oprah allegedly calling to support Weinstein after his scandal broke. Her team denies it, but given how close they were, attending events together, working on The Butler, well, you do the math. Some people are even saying Oprah might have convinced actresses to meet with Weinstein. Now, I'm not saying it's true, but when there's this much smoke, looks like Oprah's Hollywood crown might be slipping, and these actresses aren't afraid to spill the real tea anymore. Because at the end of the day, integrity matters more than a paycheck, and accountability is coming for everyone, even Queen Oprah herself. Until next time, goodbye. Goodbye.